Yeah, hi, and welcome back to another blind commentary of Season 2 of Samurai Jack's. It's episode 6, as per usual outro. Yeah. That's fun. That's a fun little series. It is certainly a bit more comedic-centric than I was expecting it to be, but it is also quite a bit more violent. Just very, very gory, even if it doesn't actually show any real gore. But it tries to be. It is funny at moments, quite a bit funny. And that's pretty good. It's pretty much. I quite like it. Let's just start. Now, I do actually wonder about that. Jack's clothes get quite often when to show that he's getting damaged. His clothes usually get like ripped off and like stuff like that. I wonder where does he get his spare clothing though, because he needs quite a lot of clothes to. I mean that's really unimportant, but still, it's an interesting way to show that he's getting damaged. Okay.
Thank you for saving us from the tyranny of the Cossacks.
That's a rather non sequitur style for, I must say. That's like, this episode really just started off with something that would look like another adventure that we were not part of. And that's not exactly a bad way to show that things are happening on, even if they are not shown, but still, it's a bit of an odd way to show it. I wonder why exactly they chose this kind of start for the episode. Well, now it's a good moment to comment on this, but yeah, this is a rather really low energetic scene now, obviously, but it shows an interesting style for the creators to go with, and that is that they chose that they want to, you know, give us quieter, slower moments that really don't have anything going on in them, that just showcase that Jack is going on an actual adventure and just trekking through the world, like showing that there is a lot more going on than we are actually alluded to usually. So it's an interesting style to show it, and it shows at the very least that they have dedication to storytelling methods that are uncommon these days, because, you know, everything's ADHD and we have to get everything going all already immediately. But this just shows a different style of storytelling, a more slow burning style of storytelling, and that's not bad. It's really quite a stark contrast to some other stories, and even the show itself, where it usually gets going in quite quickly, although admittedly the show really does emphasize traditional storytelling methods with very steady and slow build-ups like this, and it's not bad. It's definitely good, but it's just a noteworthy thing. Another thing that this kind of opening, I know I'm not really reacting that much because there's nothing to react to, but this is honestly a pretty good sign of also just what the show initially had me really aspiring, which is that it really does have a really good style of having non-verbal storytelling methods, and hey, they are kind of highlighted here as well, and that's really quite good, I must say. Yeah, this is pretty good. Now, this is something that I really have admired about the series, and it is the fact that it really does have a really good tendency to use just visual storytelling methods like this quite well. I mean, obviously, it's Jack's home village here, now thousands of years in the future, and the way that they're conveying all of these like slow burning revelations is actually really quite good. I really do I really do admire the way that they are doing this non-verbally. That's really good. That they're just using reactions and slow, just well, clear implications like this. It respects the viewer's intelligence. That's also this whole sequence was also a pretty good way to rather discreetly or rather blatantly also. It's a pretty good way to pay off the start of the episode, which was just Jack riding on a grasshopper. This is a bit of an interesting way to pay off that kind of build up. Definitely not bad. It's just a bit odd. That's actually, that whole sequence was actually kind of heartwarming, but just looking at it like that and then remembering the whole circumstances of Jack's current position, it makes it just so much more tragic actually, and that's rather unfortunate, I must say, but it's a good way to just show Jack's motivation to go back still. Not, I mean, of course, disregarding the whole fact that, you know, saving the world and all that fun stuff, but the fact that there's also just, like, fond memories of his past. It's just a good way to just have a bit more different paced and styled episode as well, so... That's a rather interesting way to actually, also reference the previous episode, to have basket-headed, like, warriors, I suppose those are, and having them face off against a samurai, just vastly outnumbering him. That's a pretty interesting way to, like, call back to the previous episode. It's definitely not bad, it's just a bit of an odd one. It's kind of nice, actually.
What was that? Hey, where's the ball?
What? Oh, that's a freaking sweet transition. That's actually rather sweet. Well, there wasn't that much to say this time around, and that's not bad, because this is a rather simplistic episode. It just shows Jack's past. And it shows it in a very good way. It's just Jack literally, figuratively, visiting his memories via visiting his past buildings and his city, his home. It's really, really quite good. Now, the whole episode had, less than 10 lines of dialogue, and that is something that I really love. The way that the show used just visual storytelling to its utmost power. It's a very well done episode without any need for any excessive dialogue. That would have just ruined the episode. And it had some very bittersweet moments, and it makes them grim memories in comparison to Jack's current disposition. it's a good episode. It's a really good episode. I really dig that because it has a solid execution with a very good pacing behind it and just some really nice flavor of different types of memories. And just in general, a bit more. I didn't think that Jack's past was something that could actually be important or anything that could provide interesting storytelling opportunities. But hey, clearly it does. That's good. That's really good because the creators took full advantage of that here and just created just solid bittersweet memory episode, and that's a good thing. It's a very different style of episode from anything we've seen up until now, and it had just a very unique style of storytelling, and it's just really well done. It's not that these methods are anything new or revolutionary, but it's just something that concurrent animation has kind of forsaken for the sake of fast-paced action and comedy. And instead they really don't, usually, or these days, animation really doesn't revolve around slow burning and slow building up, or slowly paced episodes like this, which is a shame, because this episode is really good in my opinion. And these styles of episodes are something that I adore, because they are unique and they can easily be touching and heartwarming without being cheesy or without being overdone, and they are just, when they are done properly, they are really good. And this is, in my opinion, this is a really good, really well done episode. It's just really neat. I quite like it, and it had just some very good visual transitions from current Jack to past Jack. It's just a really well done episode. Yeah, I really do like it. There's not much else to say about it. It also had just a lot of good little visual tricks and callbacks and foreshadowings that were just paid off from the past episode, or just paid off later on in the episode. It's a damn good episode. That's about all I have to say. Yeah. And of course it is, I'm not gonna say bash about the voice actors, because the voice actors of the show are quite good, even if they are usually instructed to do goofy voice. But even usually the voice actors, especially for Jack and Aku, are, top notch. So that's quite good. It's a good episode. I hope that we'll get more of these slowly paced episodes, because the show really shines when it uses visual storytelling or non-verbal storytelling, because it's not that the episode was quiet, of course not, but it's more that the episode didn't have any dialogue, or that much dialogue. Yeah, and I really dig that. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope to see you all in the future. Have a great day and stay awesome. I gotta move out. Thank you very much for watching.